So good morning to those who are present here. Yesterday we discussed or we started up with the chapter industries, manufacturing industries. In that we discussed the meaning of industries. We discussed the role played by industries in the economy of India. We discussed it thoroughly. And then we were actually discussing the factors that affect location of industries. So when we discussed about the factors, if you remember, we have discussed a prominent point, that is raw material, land, capital, policies, government policies, market, transportation, port area, water facility, electricity, and all these points you people have written, and today we'll continue with the same. It means what? Certain points we have already discussed thoroughly, some points were left. So the points which are left, we are proceeding with those points only. Right, bache? So let's talk about the point here. Which points we have discussed?
हम ट्रांसपोर्टेशन एंड कम्युनिकेशन तक कर लिया था, पावर सप्लाई शुरू कर.
Okay, so now we are going to start with the power supply as well as electricity. We'll start off with this. We know very well, to run any machine, what we need electricity. Power supply means electricity, and there should be regular supply of electricity. 24/7 electricity should be available to the industries. If in any area, say there's no regular supply of electricity, there are regular cuts, so what would happen? We won't prefer to locate our industries there. This is a very simple point. If in any area we don't have electricity, regular electricity, for example, the tribal area we are talking about, the very remote areas we are talking about, village areas, some of the village areas we are talking about, if electricity is not regular, if electricity is not continuously available, we won't prefer to develop industry there. It means what? The areas where electricity is available 24 hours, 7 days, 365 days of the year, then only we would establish industries there. That's why maximum industries are located in urban areas. Maximum industries are located in the developed areas. So take an example of all heavy industrial area, all or rail coach factory Kapurthala, if you are talking about Punjab. Take an example of sugar industry in Phagwara. Take an example of cotton textile industries, Maharashtra and Gujarat. Is because just because of availability of electricity is 24 hours, 7 days. Next point which we are going to discuss, that is availability of water. Now water is a point which is extremely important to run any industry. There are certain industries which require enough amount of water, and those industries, particularly we have say jute industry, we need enough amount of water. Even in iron and steel industry, we need enough amount of water. Even for sugar industry, even for cotton. So number of industries we need enough amount of water, and primarily is cotton industry, means dye karna hai, dye ke liye what we need water. It is iron and steel industry, we have to cool down the machine, we need water, and even jute textile industry we need water. So such industries should be located only in those areas where there is a regular supply of water, enough supply of water. And enough supply of water, if we are talking about, definitely the area, either there should be abundant rainfall, if not rainfall, then water should be available through canals, through rivers. That's why, अब हम बात करें cotton textile industry, cotton textile industry is mainly concentrated almost everywhere in India, north, south, east, west. If you are talking about Maharashtra and Gujarat, we have Narmada river, we have Tapi river, we have Mahi river, etc. And if you are talking about jute industry in West Bengal, we have river Hooghly, we have river Ganga. So availability of water is there. If you are talking about IT sector, this iron and steel industrial sector, we have say prominent, we have DVC project, Damodar Valley Corporation. So Damodar river is there. So power supply के साथ साथ what we need water supply, availability of water. So that availability of water is fulfilled actually by various rivers of India. So this point is that is related to water. Next point is Diya, next point. Next point from Neek Singh. Madhusudan, Ashpreet, Aryan
Government
Talwar.
policies.
Yes.
Government policies.
Okay, let's talk about government policy. Before doing this, let's start with the port areas. I would like to discuss port area. Government policy definitely will discuss. Port area means seaport, primarily. Because whatever we produce, all are heavy and bulky products. Heavy and bulky products, if we want to transport to other countries of the world, definitely we need water area. We need oceans, we need seas, and that's why what we need, port area. The areas which are situated near the coast, the areas where port facilities are available, will have more number of industries near to that area. For example, we want to supply, say, from Bhilai or from Rourkela, we want to supply iron steel to other countries of the world. So Rourkela is in Odisha, port area is Paradweep. If you are talking about, say, Maharashtra and Gujarat, cotton textile area, we have Kandala port, we have Mumbai port. If you are talking about Bhadravati and Vijayanagar in South Karnataka, we have Mangaluru port. So what does it mean? Wherever port area is available, automatically वहाँ पे number of industries के chances ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे, because we have to export our products other countries of the world. Is this point clear? Okay. Next point, I'm coming to government facilities, which is government policies, which is very important from industrial developmental point of view. बहुत examples we have, and we'll try to cover 2 or 3 examples to elaborate this point. Policies of the government is one of the major factors when we decide to locate industry. Policies of the government should be in the favor of industrialists, should be in the favor of development of that state or that region or for that industry. Simple. When in Jalandhar, this industrial area, what we call industrial complex, got settled even within Jalandhar. Jalandhar में जब industrial area बना था, उस समय पे number of facilities were given by the state government as well as the district government, district officers to provide to develop this area. Maybe कैसी facilities थी, land उनको थोड़ी सस्ते rate पे दिलवाई गई थी for those people who wanted to establish industries in Jalandhar in the industrial area. Second very good example we have of Nano, which I always make you aware by telling you people. Nano industry, we know very well. First of all, the offer was given to establish nano industry in West Bengal. So West Bengal mein central government chief minister, she refused to give any kind of major facilities for the establishment of this nano industry. Major facilities क्या हो सकती है? Maybe they might have asked him, land should be provided them free of cost. Yeah, there should not be taxes on the land, and there should be some relaxation in the electricity bill. Some kind of a license free होना चाहिए, ज़्यादा charges नहीं charge करें. So such type of relaxations were asked by nano company in Bengal. So Bengal government refused to set up or refused to provide such facilities, such concessions to nano company. So nano proposal किसके पास चला गया? फिर पंजाब गवर्नमेंट के पास. At that time, पंजाब गवर्नमेंट they also asked for the same कि हमें थोड़ी सी land relaxation दे दीजिए या this and that facilities they asked for. Even Punjab government, because certain conditions were there, refused to do so. Then this project went to Gujarat. And right now this project is growing very, we say, growing, what we call, not getting the word. It's growing very rapidly there, gaining importance, and Gujarat has become one of the prominent states of India. So गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी, जस्ट इमेजिन अगर ये नैनो बंगाल में लग जाता या पंजाब में, पंजाब में लग जाता, जस्ट इमेजिन अगर गवर्नमेंट उस टाइम पे राजी हो जाती है लगाने के लिए, we can well imagine the employment generation, number of people would have got this employment opportunities if this project had been done here, but नहीं हुआ. So government policies की वजह से right now we say number of our this coming generation, you people after doing your graduation, they will move to some other countries of the world because employment opportunities are less in our state. अगर इसकी बजाय, take an example of Karnataka, take an example of Tamil, take an example of Andhra. In all these states, IT industry is thoroughly developed. IT industry is thoroughly developed in the sense, it means what? Government of all these states, maybe Karnataka government, maybe Andhra government, maybe Tamil government, they are giving all kind of relaxations to the persons who want to develop IT industry in their states. So what kind of relaxation? वही same relaxation. वो tax free land they are giving to them. Electricity bill की थोड़ा reduce करके दे रहे, tax नहीं charge करे, land free of cost, this and that. So अगर this IT sector we say is basically concentrated in South India is just because of the, or we can say, credit goes to the state government. State government wanted to develop this industry in their region. अब इससे क्या हो रहा है? Just imagine. Simple. So many people from Punjab, after fulfilling their graduation, after doing their graduation, yeah, some degree, they move to South India. They are working in Bengaluru, they are working in Hyderabad and all that. Why they are moving to that region? Because jobs are there. अब jobs are there, तो वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? More and more jobs have got created. जब more and more jobs create होगी तो employment बढ़ी. साथ में क्या हुआ? Number of people they have opened their PGs there, है ना? लोगों ने घरों घरों में पीजीज बना दिए हैं, तो वो वहां पे हमारे जैसे पंजाबी जाके वहां पे रहते हैं एंड पीजी दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग देम मनी और एम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ रही है. प्लस people moving from Punjab, people moving from UP, this and that area, they have settled in South India. Automatically they are consuming their resources. उनके resources को वो consume कर रहे हैं, paying taxes to them. किसकी government को पैसा जा रहा है? State government को पैसा जा रहा है. Except this, every one of us need food to survive. तो जो बच्चे हैं जो थोड़ा ग्रेजुएशन करने के बाद दे मूव टू साउथ इंडिया एंड साउथ इंडिया में सेम स्टेट एंड दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग, उनकी वजह से जो वहाँ पे रेस्टोरेंट्स है, होटल्स है, वो काफी चल रहे हैं. सो मीन्स वट एवर एक स्टेट, इफ एनी वन स्टेट इज फॉलोइंग दिस पॉलिसी या ओपनिंग इंडस्ट्रीज या डेवलपिंग द एरिया बाय मेकिंग सर्टेन रिलैक्सेशन, तो उसकी वजह से so and so many jobs have been got created in that region. If you are talking about our state, yes, we say our state is an agricultural state, so we are giving so many facilities to the farmers, undoubtedly correct. But side by side, simultaneously, if we can do both the activities, it would be a wonder for us. Again, one more point regarding government policies like J&K, Jammu and Kashmir. Earlier, we were not supposed, means all Indians except people living in J&K, they were not supposed to buy land there and to construct their industries and all that. अभी क्या है? Central government under the state has come, UT has come. So automatically, because of this, central government has started planning to develop this area by giving maximum relaxations to the industrialists. उनको कैसे relaxation दे रही है? Loan facility they are giving to them, land but extremely lower rate they are giving to them, all kind of infrastructure they are giving to them, because they wanted to develop this area. They wanted to develop this area. Just imagine, अगर वहाँ पे इंडस्ट्री ज़्यादा चली जा रही है, that would be good definitely for the country. But when we are talking about the state, उस state में, उस area में, उस region में से J&K, people would get employment opportunities. लोगों को job मिलेगी, लोगों को job मिलेगी, तो automatically development of that area would definitely take place. So government policies actually play a very important role when we talk about the factors that affect location of industries. Very important role. All of you clear about this point? Yes, Hanji. Yes, Aryan, you want to ask something? Aryan? Okay. Hanji, next point, Diya. Which point we have left now? All point we have discussed?
मैम सारे हो गए all.
Okay, all points
Done.
we have discussed. So I'm just repeating the point, that is land we have talked about, raw material we have talked about, capital we have talked about, power supply we have talked about, water we have talked about, transportation, port area we have talked about, and government policies also we have talked about. Okay, ji? Okay. Now next topic is classification of industries. That is the next topic, classification of industries. All industries we can classify into various categories. Industries we can classify into various categories. First is on the basis of raw material. On the basis of raw material. So I would write down here, classification of industries. First is on the basis of raw material. Second is on the basis of weight of the industries. On the basis of weight of the industries. Third is on the basis of role played by the industries. Role played by the industries. Next is on the basis of capital investment. capital, investment on the basis of capital investment, and then we can say on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership. So let's start all these industries one by one. So first we have, say, on the basis of source of raw material. We know very well we have two kind of industries when we talk about on the basis of source of raw material. Means what kind of raw material we are using. Basically, we say we have two kind of raw material. That is, first one is agro-based and the second one is mineral-based. I repeat, agro-based and mineral-based. So agro-based is clear from the name. When the industries are using raw material and that raw material we obtain from agriculture. For example, jute industry, silk industry, rubber industry, cotton industry, tea industry, coffee industry. ये सारे के सारे industries are on the basis of agro-based industry. I repeat, raw material के ऊपर we can divide the industries into two parts. First one we have agro-based and the second one we have mineral-based. So agro-based industries are the industries which obtain raw material from agriculture, like cotton, like jute, like silk, like rubber, like tea, like coffee, etc. And then we have mineral-based industries. Again, clear from the name, mineral-based industries are the industries which get raw material from minerals. And we have variety of minerals. Say aluminium smelting industry, say aircraft making industry, say railway making coach industry. So all these industries fall under your cement industry. All these industries fall under mineral-based industries. Then we have according to the weight. According to the weight means weight of raw material as well as of finished product. I repeat, weight of raw material as well as of finished product. The industries we can classify into two parts. Simple, naam se clear, weight. Either heavy weight or light weight. Raw material is heavy as well as finished product is heavy. Yeah, raw material is light in weight as well as finished product, that is also light in weight. I repeat, on the basis of weight, we have two kind of industries. One is heavy industry, the second one is light industry. Heavy industries means यहाँ पे raw material as well as finished product both are heavy in weight. For example, wagons, railway wagons, heavy raw material as well as output. Or for example, machinery, जितनी भी ये textile mills में machines we are using, heavyweight industry. And when we talk about lightweight industry, for example, bulb making industry, light industry. For example, pencil making industry, light industry. Then next is according to the role played by these industries, according to their main role. All the industries we can divide into two parts. Main role, basic industries and consumer industries. Clear from the name, basic. Basic industries mean those industries which are the base, which provide base for other industry. Prominently, we can say we have iron and steel industry, base. We have cement industry, base. Basic industries means the industries which are also known as key industry. Those industries which supply the products for the development of other industries. Consumer industries are those industries in which products are directly consumed by the consumer. Means, for example, bakery industry is the best example of consumer industry. Paper industry is the best example of consumer industry. Toothpaste industry is the best example of consumer industry. So all these industries where product is directly consumed by the consumer fall under known as consumer industry. So I repeat, we have two kind of industries according to the role played by them. One is basic industry and the second one is consumer industry. Basic industry means those industries where products are produced but used by some other industry. And consumer industry, whatever is produced by the industry, that is directly consumed by the consumer. Done. Next is on the basis of, say next one is capital investment, means how much money we are using. On the basis of capital investment, broadly we say we have two kind of industry: large scale and small scale. Large scale and small scale industry. Large scale industries means the industries where enough amount of money, that is more than 5 crore, and enough amount of enough involvement of labor. बहुत पैसा चाहिए, बहुत लेबर चाहिए, that come under large scale industry. And small scale industry where less than 5 crore and less people are involved in that. Small scale industry. For example, when we are talking about say bus making industry, that's a large scale industry. Car making, automobile, that is a large scale industry. But when say we are talking about toy making, it's a small scale industry. Clear? Okay. Next is on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, basically we have two industries: public, private, and some books NCERT में these two, otherwise joint and cooperative. So public, clear from the name, those industries which are owned and run by public. Owned and run by public means owned and run by government. Such industries are known as public industry, and here main motive of public industry, that is to provide welfare, for the welfare of the people. Then we have private industry, public industry, say this is a BSNL is a public industry, rail industry is a public industry. And then we have private industry. Private industry means those industries which are owned and run by private person, private individual. Suppose you have started your own industry, fall under private industry, main motive is to earn profit. Then we have joint industry, joint sector industry, where public and private both, यहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और इंडिविजुअल दोनों की कंट्रीब्यूशन मींस दैट इज नोन एज जॉइंट सेक्टर इंडस्ट्री. लास्ट वी हैव कोऑपरेटिव इंडस्ट्री. Cooperative industry, the industry which work according to with the cooperation of each other. Each other means 5-10 बंदे, 5-7 बंदे आपस में मिलके when they set up an industry, that is known as cooperative industry. So manufacturing industry, all these are classification. Heading is classification of industry. We have done on the basis of raw material, we have done on the basis of weight, main role, capital and ownership. Done? Okay, doubt Madhusudan? Raise your hand.
मैम ये ओनरशिप वाला फिर से बता दो.
Okay. Ownership based industries means who is the owner of the industry. If owner is government, suppose government की है, हमारा कोई लेना personally कोई लेना देना नहीं, is related to government, then that industry is known as public sector. But whenever industry is run and owned by government, it is always for the welfare of the people. For example, BSNL has already given the example. Yeah, railways, best example of public sector industries. Private sector industry, वो इंडस्ट्री और पब्लिक में बेसिकली जितने भी डिफेंस इक्विपमेंट्स बनते हैं, दैट ऑल फॉल अंडर पब्लिक सेक्टर इंडस्ट्री, है ना, जो कंट्री की सेफ्टी के लिए. प्राइवेट सेक्टर इंडस्ट्रीज मींस दो सेक्टर इंडस्ट्रीज व्हिच आर रन एंड ओन बाय एनी पर्सनल पर्टिकुलर पर्सन. जितनी भी अंबानी, रिलायंस, ऑल आर प्राइवेट सेक्टर इंडस्ट्री. अडनानी, प्राइवेट सेक्टर इंडस्ट्री. Then we have cooperative joint sector industry. Joint sector industry means joint, से जैसे ऑयल इंडिया लिमिटेड, ये जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एंड मैं और आप में से कोई भी. लास्ट इज कोऑपरेटिव. कोऑपरेटिव मतलब 5-7 बंदों ने आपस में, वी डोंट हैव मच अमाउंट ऑफ मनी, बट व्हाट वी हैव डन, हमने 4 बंदे मिलकर पार्टनरशिप किया, वी हैव स्टार्टेड आवर ओन इंडस्ट्री. व्हाटएवर लॉस वुड बी देयर शेयर्ड बाय अस, व्हाटएवर प्रॉफिट वुड बी देयर शेयर्ड बाय अस. देन इट इज नोन एज जॉइंट कोऑपरेटिव इंडस्ट्री. कोऑपरेटिव बहुत है हमारे इंडिया में, ठीक है. बेस्ट एग्जांपल अगर हम कोऑपरेटिव की बात करें, वी हैव लिजर पापड़ इंडस्ट्री, अमूल कोऑपरेटिव इंडस्ट्री. मधु क्लियर बच्चे? मधुसूदन क्लियर बेटा?
यस मैम. लेकिन
ओके, आर्यन यस
मैम. लेकिन मैम लेबर सेक्टर है वो किस में लाई करेगी?
labor intensive industry. Labor sector industry, there is no specific classification, but when we talk about this large scale industry, small scale industry, it fall under this. Large scale where capital, more capital as well as more involvement of labor, and small scale less capital, less involvement of labor, generally family members. Clear? Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
वैसे आपने को जो एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आया था, इट वाज ऑन लार्ज लेबर सेक्टर इंडस्ट्री. तो लेबर सेक्टर इंडस्ट्रीज आर जनरली लार्ज स्केल, more labor. Done? Okay. Next we are going to start with first classification of industry. Basically, as I already told you, we have two type of industry. One is agro-based, second one is mineral-based. So I'm going to start with agro-based industries. बहुत ध्यान, 100% concentration with me only. Agro-based industries means those industries where raw material is from agriculture. Okay? And when we talk about agro-based industries, you can note it down. We have woolen textile industry, we have cotton industry, we have jute industry, we have silk industry, we have sugar industry, we have oil seed, edible oil industry, all fall under agro-based industry. ये सारी की सारी agro-based है because your raw material is from agriculture. Done? Done? Okay. First industry which I'm going to start, that is textile industry. इसके दो तीन पॉइंट्स है, you can note it down या you can keep it in your mind, that is entirely up to you. Textile industry is an industry, yes. Okay. Textile industry is an industry which is extremely important industry when we talk about this economical point of view. Textile industry means what? Jute textile, cotton textile, silk textile, woolen textile. टेक्सटाइल का मतलब ही कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ ऑल दीज फोर, कॉटन, जूट, सिल्क एंड वूलन. ऑल दीज जितने भी टेक्सटाइल है, ऑल दीज 4 or 5 टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्रीज, दे कंट्रीब्यूट 14% ऑफ द इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन. आई रिपीट, जितनी भी टेक्सटाइल है, चाहे वो कॉटन है, जूट है, सिल्क है या वूलन है, collectively they contribute almost around 14% in industrial contribution in the economy of India. And in this industry we can say people all, maybe cotton, maybe jute, maybe silk, maybe woolen, how many persons are involved? That is more than 35 million people are involved in this industry. I repeat, 35 people, 35 million persons are involved in this industry. Third, we can say this industry is extremely important because to have foreign exchange, we earn lot and lot of foreign exchange from this industry. And next we can say its contribution in GDP, that is almost 4%. 4% GDP is contributed by this industry. And next we can say this is the industry which is self-sufficient and self-reliant. Very important point. What does it mean? That from raw material to the final product, everything is done. We are self-sufficient. We don't have to depend on any other country. Aryan, want to ask something? Your hand is up.
मैम मैंने कहना था कि जो जॉइंट सेक्टर है ऑनरशिप में, तो उसमें जॉइंट मतलब पब्लिक और गवर्नमेंट ज्वाइन करती है या स्टेट और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ज्वाइन होती है?
नहीं, हमारा मतलब से मैं पंजाब गवर्नमेंट और मैं स्टेट और सेंटर तो गवर्नमेंट हो गए.
ओके मैम,
इंडिविजुअल.
थैंक यू.
गवर्नमेंट और
ओके
इंडिविजुअल, दैट इज जॉइंट सेक्टर.
ओके,
ठीक है. So we were talking about textile industry. First of all, as I already told you, we have 4 kind of textile, या 4 industries को मिला के we say textile industry, cotton, jute, silk and woolen. ये main point दिमाग में रखना. Second main point is सारे के सारे these 4 textile industries, they contribute 4% in the GDP of industrial production. ये दिमाग में रखना. 4% the GDP, sorry, not industrial production, 4% in GDP. 14% is given by this industry in the industrial production. More than 35 million people are directly and indirectly involved in this. And very important point which I was discussing, that this is the only industry which is self-sufficient and self-reliant. It means it completes the whole value chain. Let's understand the meaning of it. Independent question can be asked generally. Which industry is self-reliant and self-sufficient? Answer is textile industry. Cotton नहीं लिखना है. You're supposed to write down textile industry. Textile industries, I repeat, cotton, jute, silk and woolen. चारों को चारों मिला के we say textile industry. This is the industry which is self-reliant. We are self-dependent. We don't have to depend on any other country to fulfill the chain. Chain means from growing of cotton से लेकर till the final product. All the activities we are capable enough to produce in our country. We are capable enough to to reach to the final stage, that is raw material finished product. So पूरी की पूरी chain is we are totally dependent. We don't have to depend on any other country. हम प्रोड्यूस भी कर रहे हैं, हम वीव भी कर रहे हैं, निटिंग भी कर रहे हैं, हम everything we are doing, dyeing, coloring, stitching, tailoring, garment manufacturing. Ultimately, whenever the final product is in our hand, we can't say we are depending on other country for anything of for the requirement of this industry. That's why we say it completes the value chain. Generally, question आ जाता है which industry is self-reliant industry, self-dependent industry. What do you mean by completion of value chain? तो आपने textile industry के बारे में you're supposed to write down. Is this point clear? It should be clear to all of you. बेटा कई क्वेश्चन ऐसे घुमा के बोल देते हैं वो, ये आपकी इट्स इन द लाइन एनसीईआरटी बुक में, यू कैन फाइंड आउट दिस लाइन इज हियर. ओके, next I'm going to start with the first industry out, this textile industry, the most important industry, the industry for which we were famous, the industry which has actually enriched our trio, the industry through which we earn a lot of foreign exchange, that is cotton textile industry. So first industry is cotton textile industry. We know very well, we were quite popular in this cotton textile industry in the past. We produce so many things, means we were exporting the things to other countries of the world also. So cotton textile industry is an industry where we use handloom, where we use palm also. दिमाग में रखना दो चीजें हैं, दो चीजों से we people can produce clothes. One is handloom, हाथों से जब बनाया जाता है, कपड़ा बनाया जाता है, that is known as handloom, and the second one is known as palm. Palm होता है जब पावर मशीनों से when we start manufacturing the clothes. So palm से पहले earlier we were totally 18th century से पहले we were totally depending on handloom. So handloom का नुकसान क्या था? फायदा तो बहुत ज्यादा थे, नुकसान क्या था? टाइम टेकिंग था, प्रोडक्शन की स्पीड स्लो थी. फायदा क्या था? All designs were unique. That's why we were famous in the world. I repeat, all designs were unique. जब भी हम हाथ से चीजें बनाएंगे तो automatically uniqueness would be there. But when we are manufacturing the products with the help of machine, तो similarity आ जाएगी, boring हो जाएगा. So that's why before we can say 18th century, our techniques, our weaving techniques, everything was done by handloom. So that's why we were quite prominent. But after 18th century, जब Britishers का आदान प्रदान हमारी country में हो गया, automatically then there was a tough competition. We know very well Britishers captured us. They started exploiting our resources, and they wanted to compete in the international market with the other European countries of the world. And that's why instead of handloom, they shifted our handloom to parloom. ये नुकसान था हमारा. उन्होंने हमारी हैंडलूम को they totally destroyed, they totally ruined, they did not give any importance to our handloom. और सारा काम मशीनों से होना शुरू हो गया. जब मशीनों से सारा काम शुरू हो गया तो ऑटोमेटिकली प्रोडक्शन इंक्रीज मैनी फोल्ड, बट जो यूनिकनेस थी इट डिस्ट्रॉयड, टोटली डिस्ट्रॉयड. ये थोड़ी सी मतलब कह सकते खत्म हो गई. So the first successful textile mill, it was settled in Mumbai in 1854. First textile mill settled in Mumbai in 1854. And उसके बाद हम कह सकते 1914, 1939, we had to all of the world actually faced world war, and उस टाइम पे हमारी जो इंडस्ट्री थी उसको बहुत फायदा हुआ. वर्ल्ड वॉर से नुकसान तो अनडाउटेडली सारी कंट्रीज को हुआ, बट हमें क्या फायदा हुआ? हमें ये फायदा होगा क्योंकि यूरोपियन कंट्रीज और इंग्लैंड के बीच में आपस में लड़ाइयाँ हो रही थी, एंड उनकी मार्केट डाउन जा रही थी. हमारी मार्केट वाज ऑलरेडी अंडर यूके, यूनाइटेड किंगडम या ब्रिटेन के अंडर थे हम लोग. तो उन्होंने हमारा फायदा उठाया. दे वर इन नीड ऑफ कॉटन क्लोथ, हम ही उनके अंडर थे, और कुछ था ही नहीं, कॉम्पिटिशन बाकी हार रही थी. तो उस चीज़ का फायदा उन लोगों ने उठाया, एंड दैट्स वाई हमारे इंडस्ट्रीज ने काफ़ी ज़्यादा डेवलपमेंट की. डन. Okay, next point is when we talk about cotton in India, if till 2011 number of industries were 1946, and if we are talking about cotton textile industry, maximum industries still are in private hands. I repeat, maximum industries are still in private hands. 80% of industries are in private hands. And Baki industries either are in public sector or they're very small scale industries. So 80% in private hand indicate what? Why so? Why maximum cotton textile industries are in a private hand? Question can be asked. Any one of you would like to give answer? Yeah, maximum industries were in private hand. Yeah, small scale industries were also very high. The number was very high. Q. Any one of you?
To earn profits.
To earn profits. Okay, what else? That's good.